It's time for City Beat, your source for all the latest news on the city of Thompson. Only on 102.9 CHTM, your radio station.
Good morning. You're listening to City Beat. I'm Monika Gul, and with me today is Mayor Dennis Fenske. Thank you for joining me.
Good morning.
If you have a question you'd like to ask the mayor, you can give us a call at 677-8181. To kick things off, the holidays are over. What's been happening around the city?
Well, first of all, I want to give a great shout out to the Red Nose operation for providing a safe way home after the evening of celebration during the holiday season. So congratulations to all the volunteers with that. And with the safety share this morning, we have sanders and graders out doing snow removal and sanding the streets. So just be aware of the heavy equipment, especially pre-sunrise. The sanders are out at 5 a.m. and they're out after 4:30 as well. I believe they go till 10 o'clock at night. So when it's dark, when you see the flashing lights, make sure you remain at least 50 feet back and be aware of the large equipment.
Great reminder. Some other work that's being done is on the Snowmobile Trail from the Water Ski Club to Pickerel Crescent. Tell us about that and how long it's expected to take.
Should be done in the next week or so. What's happened is along that trail there's been a number of washouts. There's outfalls that come from the Westwood area that come off of surface drainage down to the river, and some culverts have been washed out, which created a hazard. So we've been working with Manitoba Hydro, with Smokes Contractors and the Trailbreakers group to make sure that we can make that area safe again. So we have heavy equipment in there doing work flattening out the pathways and installing new culverts. So just be aware over the next week or so that the heavy equipment is in that area, and then once they've finished and we get some snow, the trail will be open, and it'll be great for snowmobiling around our community.
Mm-hmm. And also with the new year came a new school zone. Did you want to remind listeners what that is? And also, I don't know if it's too soon to say, but if motorists have been obeying the speed limit.
Well, the speed limit's been in effect since January 1st, and it's on Weir Road, where the new École French school is. It's a 30-kilometer zone, Monday to Friday, from 8 to 5, and from the school year of September 1st to June 30th. And so to date, I've had no reports of any drivers being ticketed in that area, but just be cautious of that area. The school is actually open now with students attending, and the grand opening, I believe, is on Monday afternoon. So congratulations to all those who did the behind-the-scenes work in getting the school up and running, and it's a great addition to our community as well. And just be aware of, here's a new area that has children in the area more than usual, and so please obey the speed zone signs and be aware of the kids on the streets.
For sure. Monday night was the first meeting of council for 2016, and there were a couple of things that were passed. One was an increase in taxi fare rates. Can you tell us about that and when residents can expect it to go into effect?
So the fares will go into effect probably next month. We've got some little tweaks that we have to do with the bylaw itself. But basically it was a review with the taxi industry and the city staff as well. They haven't seen a raise in rates in the last 7 years. And so there was a review of current rates and rates around other communities. And at the end of the day, between the taxi industry and the regulating body, which is the city of Thompson, there was a recommendation put forth to council. Council adopted that on Monday, and again, there's a few tweaks to go into the bylaw, and so I believe in the next month that will be in place as well.
All right. A reminder to those listening, if you have a question you'd like to ask the mayor, give us a call at 677-8181. Something else that was approved is a plan that addresses the pedestrian crossing at the intersection of Mystery Lake Road and Nelson Road. For those listening and trying to picture it in their mind, it's just near Rick's Marine. There were safety concerns, and the Public Works and Infrastructure Committee had been looking at solutions, and the one they brought forth to council is redirecting pedestrians to cross Mystery Lake Road at Selkirk Road instead of Nelson Road. This will be done by building a multi-use path on the south side of Mystery Lake Road, building a Jersey barrier, and taking out a piece of a sidewalk that leads to the existing crossing. First, can you tell us about the safety concerns that were brought up and how it became a Public Works and Infrastructure Committee issue?
Basically, there's the speed limit in that area. It transitions from 70 kilometers down to 50. There is a natural crossing there. It's not a recognized crosswalk, but there is a natural pathway that people over the number of years have crossed from the Nelson Road side to the Juniper area side. With the speed and the amount of traffic and the size of vehicles traveling in that area, it was put to the Public Works Committee to review in consultation with MIT in regard to the governing body for highways. And so with that, there was a number of discussions and recommendations about what to do about the safety aspect of that. There were 4 recommendations that were put forth and discussed at the Public Works Committee, of which the 4 recommendations were put to City Council on Monday with a recommended recommendation, of which was to, as you said, install jersey barrier, which is basically a concrete barrier on the west side of the highway, so that people are directed towards the crosswalk at the lights of Selkirk and Mystery Lake Road. And so again, trying to encourage and change people's traffic patterns that have been established over a number of years will be difficult, but hopefully it will be safer for people to cross at a controlled crossing at the lights, again at Selkirk and Station Road. And so this will go into effect in the next little while, and we'll see how we make out with the changes.
Okay, and can you tell us maybe some of the reasons the committee chose the option of the redirection of pedestrians?
Well, I think the one is the existence of the lights at Selkirk and Mystery Lake Road, the proximity to this informal crossing. Another is the type of vehicles and the speed on Mystery Lake Road. It's a thoroughfare through our community, so that was a concern as well. And the fact that it is an informal crossing. At this point, people cross at their own risk. There's no designated crosswalk or anything like that. So all those things put into the consideration and the discussion. And I'll say it was a healthy discussion at the Public Works Committee on the 4 options. And so with that, out of that came one recommendation. And again, Council had some discussion and good debate, which is always nice to see and hear. And at the end of the day, the vote was taken, and we support the recommendation of the Public Works Committee.
Okay. Yesterday you spoke to Chamber of Thompson members. You did an overview of the City Council's strategic plans and how they're going. I'm curious, with the new year, do you as mayor, or maybe even if council has a particular goal or project you'd like to see to fruition, so to speak, in 2016?
Well, I think in 2016, this is the second year of our 4-year mandate. Obviously, things that happen on an annual basis, like the 2016 budget deliberations, those are ongoing. We do have a public consultation meeting next Tuesday at 7 o'clock at TRCC in the multipurpose room. We do have, from a city's perspective, from a corporate perspective, we have 3 contracts to negotiate with our employees: Local 7911, 8223, and the firefighter and paramedics, Local 2200. So that's a challenge to have negotiated in 2016. We are in the final design stages of the wastewater treatment plant. So to get that through, that's a $36 million project with construction happening in 2017 and completion in 2018. So that's basically a large project that we want to get off the drawing board and into the ground in the next coming year. And the other ongoing discussions with the LGD and Province of Manitoba in the amalgamation of the LGD, portion of which we took over the operations of the landfill site August 1st, and the second part of that is to look at the entire LGD. So we've got discussions going on. We've got consultants in place to discuss with those affected groups that are currently in the LGD, and we'll continue those discussions in 2016, see where we get with that.
Okay. And also another discussion that's currently taking place is between the city and Vallée regarding the transfer of the water treatment plant from Vallée to the city. How's that going?
Basically, it's ongoing discussions. We've had a committee established for the last couple years, and so those discussions will continue with no hard date in mind. I know we had a target of January 1st of 2016. That's come and gone, but it's just to say that we are continuing discussions with Vallée as to the transfer of that asset.
Okay. And the weather has definitely gone colder the past few days, and I know the extreme cold weather policy has been used a couple of times. Maybe just to remind folks, what exactly is that?
Sure, and I want to thank the the local shelter and the initiative of Paulette Simpkins and working with her group and Canadian Mental Health and the city staff, we established access to the two outdoor rink buildings in Juniper and Eastwood on an after-hours basis, basically after 10 p.m. If the weather falls below minus 35, then and the shelter, the current shelter is full, then the excess requirements can be met by opening up those two facilities. Canadian Mental Health and the shelter provide the staffing for it. We just provide the facilities itself. And as you said, it's been a warm fall winter so far, and so it's been used minimally, but after today's weather and this coming weekend's forecast, I'm sure that if the need is there, that we will open that up. So it's a nice option to have for those who are in need of shelter during the cold weather.
Mm-hmm. And now, before we wrap up for today, anything else you wanted to mention? You did mention the second public budget consultation next week.
Yes. Again, a reminder, it's Tuesday night, 7 p.m. at TRCC at the multipurpose room. We encourage everyone to come out. We'll do a short presentation on the 2015 budget that we had, and we're looking for proposals or comments or suggestions as to what we can bring forth in the 2016 budget. From an activity perspective, again, a busy weekend at TRCC. We've got the Prince Bergscheid Hockey Tournament happening January 8th to the 10th. That's Pee Wee hockey at its finest, so make sure you come out and support the local King Miners. And also on the 9th and 10th, the Norman North Stars are in against the Central Plains Capitals. Again, Saturday night, 7:30, Sunday at 1:30, so come on out and support the local teams. I know the kids always appreciate when the stands are full.
For sure. That wraps up this edition of City Beat. Join us next week at around 11:30 to find out what's happening around the city and City Hall. For 102.9 CHTM, I'm Monika Gul.
City Beat will be back